three of Mike Ness's uh, gold tops is like, the one that say Orange County and has the bird on the side of it. We have three of them, in a case in the Social Distortion living room now. Um, th- there's just so much stuff. We have a record store now. We're just opening up a record store. This is Rob Ruckus.
Hey, this is Kate Clover.
Hey guys, it's Nick Collins here from The Effect and Better Strangers.
Hi, my name is Madeline Rose.
Hey, it's Ben McKelvey.
It's Tim Howard here from Mike and the Mechanics.
Hello, I'm Amanda Lehman.
I'm Billy Harvey.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Casey Sampson from the band Twist Stop.
Hey, it's Tony from Fastball.
Hello, everybody. My name is Isaiah Mitchell.
Hey, guys, it's Matt here from the White Lakes.
You're listening to Almost Famous Magazine.
Come join us for this interview. Check it out, Almost Famous Magazine.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the hang right here on Almost Famous Magazine. I can't thank you enough for all the support for what we've been doing with these hangs over the past year. We've been at it for at least a good year, and today we have a repeat performance that I'm super excited about, because let me tell you, you've been watching episodes about what we're doing with Punk Rock Bowling this year, and I'll be honest, my first Punk Rock Bowling interview last year was with this gentleman, Rob Ruckus, from the Punk Rock Museum and the Shakewells, an all-around amazing human being, master of so many stories. We have a lot of catching up to do. There's been so much going on at the museum in the last year. Plus, I'm probably going to break the rules and talk about something I shouldn't about, because I think there's some Shakewells action coming up. And to be honest, I was super disappointed. They've been playing around a lot lately, and me being in Dallas, they're not booking any dates here. I'm not sure why. I think I'm going to get a chance to see them perform again when I'm at Punk Rock Bowling. And we'll talk about some other stuff today. So, Rob, thanks so much for making time. It's great to see you.
My pleasure, man.
Thanks for coming back to the hang.
It's good to be back, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks.
Always,
it's been a great. I'm sorry.
Always a treat and a pleasure.
You are the highlight of my day today. So it's been a year, and I got to be honest with you. We talked last year just about the amazing stuff going on with the anniversary of Punk Rock Museum, and then all the stuff that was happening for Punk Rock Bowling last year. You're going to have some special stuff this year, but man, it's been a wild year. Let's catch up on some of the stuff that's been going on. And I want to dig into that jukebox of yours. I've seen that restoration job. Tell me about that.
Well, oh, shit, where to start with that? But we'll start with the jukebox. It's, when John Lydon joined the Sex Pistols, he went to Malcolm McLaren and Vivian Westwood's shop Sex, and he sang along to the jukebox that was in there. And he sang along to 18 by Alice Cooper. And Marco Pirioni from Adam and the Ants and Susie and the Banshees made a perfect 100% replica of that jukebox for John Taylor of Duran Duran. John Taylor then sent it to us to have in the museum. But when it came to us, Duran Duran brought it over with their gear. So it wasn't shimmed up. The power amps inside of this 1956 big old English, jukebox, they weren't shimmed up or nothing. So they fell forward and all the tubes smashed. All the records were still in the track. They all fell out. So we had to put it back together. So we had to put new tubes in it, which my buddy Roy's Repair-O-Rama helped me out with that. And because he's just a tube master, the guy's gone around the world for the past 20 years. Just when companies close down, he'll go and buy all the tubes. And he has like a garage full of little boxes this big filled with tubes. So he's the dude to go to. But all the records fell out. So I had to pull all the records out, clean them. And as I'm going through them, it's like, whoa, these are original pressings. So the 13th Floor Elevators, You're Gonna Miss Me. We all know that song. Well, when they were called the Spades, they made a 45, and that's the original pressing that's in that jukebox.
That
Jonathan.
wasn't a jukebox. That was a box of gold.
Yeah, yeah, it absolutely is. And the Modern Lovers, I Fought the Law, a bunch of songs that all the early English punk bands would go on to cover are in that, Shaking All Over, all that great stuff is in that jukebox original pressings. And it's just great to see where the lineage of that went, people hearing that stuff in that shop, and then you get the Clash playing I Fought the Law. You know, it's a pretty amazing thing to be able to go through.
Now, I'm sure you got it back up to snuff. Are
Yes.
people who visit able to push a button
No.
and select a song?
No.
No. Are you playing it, or is it playing it all?
Very rarely. Very rarely. We do turn it on occasionally, especially if somebody special comes in. When Jackie Fox from the Runaways came through, I turned it on for her. When Keith Morris from the Circle Jerks comes through, I turned it on for him. But on a regular, no, because it's a one of a kind, man. I mean, and those old jukeboxes don't just run continually. They're a lot of work. They're an awful lot of work, and we don't want to, we don't want to mess it up. We want to preserve it. So it's not running, but I do have you can go to J19, which is Alice Cooper's I'm 18, and the 45 is sitting in the middle. So I did kind of set it up so it's still cool looking.
I can't wait to see that. When I'm there to visit, because Punk Rock Bowling is coming up. What are some of the other stuff that's happened over the last year? I mean, I can't keep up with you guys.
God.
So many amazing tours, and I've got to imagine, because last year you told me a story that I tell repeatedly. It was a Ramones story about a little girl that you fit with a bass, right? Have there been any magical moments like that, especially with kids in the last year?
Yeah.
What are some of those great moments that people have experienced?
Yeah, there's been lots of those, especially with the kids. I mean, just seeing kids come in there. And for me, it's frustrating sometimes watching these kids come in, pull out their phone and put it on their knee and play anything, anything they want, and it's like, it took me 30 years to learn that shit, you little prick. It's frustrating as hell sometimes. But it also, I mean, there's nothing as magic as, are you not the Ramones one? I'm talking about the Rancid one, the Rancid story. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I think
the Rancid guitar.
The
little girl that played with CJ Ramone.
Exactly.
Okay, that happened. Okay, well, the best one, I must not have told it last time then, was the first few months we were open. Nobody played Tim Armstrong's guitar because it's left-handed. So literally the first 3 months, nobody, I mean, they pick it up and take pictures, but nobody actually played it. 3 months in, this little girl, maybe 8 years old, comes to the door. She's kind of stammering and staring at it. And I'm like, hey, come in, come in. And she looks at me all weird. And then she finally comes in. And I'm like, sit down. And she sits down. I hand it to her right-handed. She flips it left. She starts banging the strings. She starts single picking the strings. She starts picking every other string, every third string. And I'm literally watching this little girl figure out music. It was a beautiful moment. I took a picture of it, sent it to Tim Armstrong, sent it to Fat Mike. Like, this is the first person to play the guitar. It finally happened. 2 months later, her dad comes back and goes, I need to speak to Fat Mike and Ruckus Rob. Okay, well, Mike's doing a tour. When he gets done, you can meet them both in the jam room. He comes in, closes the door behind him. He's like, do you remember that little girl that came in? And I'm like, bro, do I remember? I pull up my phone. I'm like, I still got her picture on my phone. And Mike's like, yeah, man, me too. Because I sent it to Mike. And he kept the picture too, because it's just a beautiful moment. He goes, well, my daughter's autistic. And the fact that she even walked in the room when I asked her to is amazing to him, because she's in her shell. She doesn't really come out of it too often. When they got back home, she kept saying, guitar, 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 guitar. He had to go buy her a guitar. She wouldn't touch it. No, pink. Tim Armstrong's guitar is pink. So he had to take it out back and paint it pink with literal house paint. He painted the thing pink. Now she has a sword and a shield, man. She has totally come out of her shell. He's like in the grocery store, she's waving to people. We have a new way of helping her through music therapy. And yeah, that's what me and Fat Mike are doing. We're like fucking punk rock, man. That's what
Dude, I'm getting
that's what we
verklempt
do.
here.
That's what
I'm
we do.
tearing.
It was
I'm
fucking
tearing
heavy.
up. Oh
It's
wow.
it was really, really heavy. But that's the magic
Oh.
of that place is it's changing lives, you know. I mean, Mike constantly says he wants it to be a joy factory, and God damn it, it is, you know, and not just for that little girl, for me. I mean, I get to tell that story to people every day and have this reaction of love through music, and that's what this is all about.
I got goosebumps. I'm getting verklempt. I'm
I,
tearing up here.
I
This is such an incredible story.
it's
I love it.
heavy. It's heavy.
I gotta say, you know, going to the Punk Rock Museum, it was not everything I expected. It was everything I wanted, and it was a joyous experience to be able to walk through and go, "Wow, this is the real history. This is the real stuff." Many of us have been to everywhere from, let's say, a hard rock to what's it called?
Somebody like my house.
House of Blues or something like that. But to go to a place where it's all real, it's all authentic, it is
Yes.
the history, and it's accessible, was incredible experience.
It's a very emotional place for a lot of us too. You know, I don't know if I brought this up last time, but you know, I'm good friends with TSOL. You know, so when I see Todd Barnes's drum set, it hits hard. You know, Todd's not with us anymore, so you know, I mean, it hits. You know, and the Vegas section. You know, both Mike Connolly and Todd Sampson from Self Abuse are up on those walls, and they're no longer with me. So you know, luckily though, I get to say hi to them every day.
No, that's an incredible
Joe
blessing to have that
Strummer,
opportunity.
Johnny Thunders, you know, all these people that I loved my whole life, you know, there's little pieces of them, you know, Lemmy, there's actually some of his ashes. We have some of Lemmy's ashes in the building, you know.
Okay, that's interesting because the one and only time I ever saw Lemmy was at a bar in Vegas, so at least
Oh, right
he's
on.
still there.
Right on, yes.
There's a
Yes.
bar in the building. So that's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. I missed that last time. What are some of the other new things this year for anyone going to Punk Rock Bowling, who's going to make a return pilgrimage to the museum, or for those who haven't been, who I think in every single episode we've talked about it with these bands about going to see the Punk Rock Museum. What are some of the newer stuff besides the jukebox that have come in this year?
Oh God, it's hard to actually even say because it's an ever evolving thing. It changes for me daily. Daily, you know, just a month ago we got 3 of Mike Ness's gold tops. Is like, you know, the one that say Orange County and has the bird on the side of it. We have 3 of them, you know, in a case in the Social Distortion living room now. Um, there's just so much stuff. We have a record store now. We're just opening up a record store. It's literally soft opened right now. Before bowling, though, it will be full on open. And it's an amazing thing. Like Fat Mike's record collection is in there and it's for sale. Is it cheap? Hell no. But can you buy Fat Mike's Negative Approach 45? Yeah. Where else in the world can you buy all Fat Mike's test pressings for every Fat record that's ever come out? The test pressings will be available in that store. You can't order them online. You have to come into the store and buy them. There's some very, very special ones, and I guess I'm about to blow the probably not supposed to say anything about this yet, but I'm doing it anyways because this is just
It's just you
so
and me. It's just
badass.
us here.
Nobody's gonna
It's just
hear
us
this.
here.
Yeah.
No, nobody's gonna find out. It's just
So
everybody.
so the record store is also being run with Tom, who's a a big part of the museum. He also runs Bottles to the Ground record label with Fat Mike out of England, where he's from, and he has a record press there. He has a record plant. He makes specialty records, kind of like this RKL record right here. The very, very special thing about this record, and I will show you here, is, can you see all the little stuff in it? Oh, there's stuff in the vinyl.
What is that?
I mean, it's not cocaine. I know it's what you would think for an RKL record, but that's Jason Sears' ashes. That is literally Jason Sears of RKL's ashes inside of a 10-inch record. There's only 40 of them made because we didn't get a lot of his ashes. But
there was obviously enough of him to go around.
Yeah, and around and around and around and around. And he's going to keep going around till the end of time. Yeah, till the end of time.
That is incredible, man.
And, you know, like, I knew Jason. And to be able to have a piece of him here is absolutely amazing to me. So there's going to be very, very special things happening in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm blown away. And you know, for anyone visiting for Punk Rock Bowling Weekend, you better back up the Brinks truck when you go to that record store.
Yeah, they're not cheap, but they're stuff you cannot. That they're one of a kinds. You know, every one of. No.
Do you guys won't ship? So people have to bring them back from Las
Vegas. Yes, you can come to the store and buy them, but we're not doing any mail ordering, no shipping. You take care of that. You're grown-ass people. You can make that happen. I do it. I go all over the world and buy records and bring them back.
Well, I'm probably going to have to bring some record boxes to do some shipping with, because
that's a good idea.
As people who watch this know, my niece is getting quite the record collection. As a matter of fact, one of the things that I'm hoping to get out there while I'm there, if it's possible, is to get her an autographed Shakewells record, if it's still available.
I've got 2 of them.
Well, I'm going to take one of those off your hands, and I'm going to ask everybody to put their John Hancock on it.
Plus, there's a new self-abuse record out, too. Joey Kelly from Mad Parade got a hold of me, and so the songs Boredom is the Reason and Used to Know Me, which most of the world knows as being by MIA. They're the ones that recorded them on their amazing Alternative Tentacles album, Murder in a Foreign Place. Mike Connolly was originally in Self-Abuse. Those are self-abuse songs that MIA made famous to the entire world. These are the originals. They just got on vinyl for the first time ever.
Wow.
And those just came out too. And I got a guy in Italy that wants to put out the demos from 1981, so I'm working on getting those out next.
You know what? I'm gonna have to work really hard before Punk Rock Bowling Week. Bring a lot of money or get my credit limit extended. So everybody, you know,
actually the record store, I've actually taken a big, like, what I had doubles of. So there's a lot of used stuff in the store too now. You know, I mean, I had 2 copies of Metallic KO. I had 2 copies of most of the Ramones records. Because when I see shit, in a $5 bin that I know is a classic album that somebody's going to need it, so I would just grab it. I never thought of myself as a record collector. I was a record saver. Like, who's going to care about Rockabilly Psychosis with the legendary Stardust Cowboy and the Cramps and the Sonics and the Meteors? And, at the time, nobody cared about that. That was like a $5 record. Now, who knows? When I picked up the Runaways Queens of Noise record, is it my favorite Runaways record? No, but now that Jackie Fox has signed it and X'd out Joan Jett's face and wrote Payback is a Bitch, It's one of my favorite things in the world.
I think now it can be considered a work of art.
Exactly.
It's a one-off work of art.
It'll be even better, hopefully, next month when Joan Jett does her residency in town, and hopefully she comes to the museum, and I get her to sign it too and see what happens.
I can only imagine the next comment that's going on that thing. That is super cool.
Oh.
You know, I just saw recently that on your anniversary, not only did you guys have a show, but just after that, you had what, wrestling?
Oh yeah,
Punk
yeah,
wrestling?
yeah. We've had some amazing stuff, and that anniversary was great, man. TSOL was absolutely amazing as always. But having both Jack and Mike Roach do readings for their books, and Ron read a lot of Mike's book for him. It was just such an amazing moment, you know. Just seeing the love between those three guys, you know, in TSOL was just, oh God, it was brilliant. And then having Ed Culver there that day, explaining where all these iconic photos came from, you know, the Wasted Youth album cover where the guy's doing the backflip with Wasted Youth on his ass. Okay, that was an adolescent show. That wasn't a Wasted Youth show. It was an adolescent show. I think it was Steve Olson, the skater, who was doing the flip. He landed on his feet. Why is everybody so low in that picture and he's so high? It's a seated show. It was at Perkins Palace. Everybody was sitting down. Like, these are things I had no idea about. Now, the band MIA, I told you, I still to this day play with Pablo from MIA in the Souvenirs. We've been playing together for 30 something years. He's one of my best friends in the world. Their first album, Last Rites for Genocide and MIA, was a split 12-inch. Ed Culver did the front and back. The front of it is a cemetery, and you just see a whole bunch of headstones. The back of it, you just see the back of two guys' leather jackets and a big kind of mound of dirt. And we just never really knew what it was, but, you know, it's two punk rock guys and a mound of dirt. No big deal. So what it was is these two guys got a hold of Ed Culver and said, hey, we're going to go dig up this grave. Do you want to shoot it? And Ed at the time drove a hearse. So he's like, okay, well, look, I can't park my car by the cemetery because I drive a hearse. And when the cops show up and those kids go running, they're going to look at this old guy with a camera driving a hearse and figure it was him. So he had to park like blocks away, walk up there with all of his camera gear, and he literally shot pictures of those guys digging up a grave. And that's what's on the back of that album cover. Now, the guys in the band didn't even know that. The guys in I called Pablo and told him, as soon as I heard Ed tell that story, I called Pablo and like, bro, did you know? He's like, I had no idea. We just thought they were like stock photos. We didn't know. Like, it's just getting to hear that stuff is just amazing, man. So it was great. And then the wrestling on top of that, they had WrestleMania out here in Vegas. So all the, you know, there was wrestling events going on everywhere in town, everywhere. And Circle Six got a hold of us, and they're kind of like extreme dudes, you know, they're punkers, you know, they got a hold of us, and we're like, hell yeah, let's do this. So they set up a wrestling ring right in the middle of the parking lot. We blocked off the parking lot, and it was just an absolute blast, man. Sabu showed up. Sabu, like, he was the most intense. I back in the day, I fucking loved wrestling. I was a big fan, and to meet Sabu finally was amazing. The only thing that sucked is by the time on my lunch break, I raced home, grabbed my anti-scene Sabu 45 to have him sign it. But by the time I got back, he was gone. So I didn't get him sign it. But everything else, I've been having everything else signed since I've been working there. It's crazy.
Look, I'm still, you know, I'm still stuck on the whole cemetery thing, because if you think about it, when was that photo taken? How long ago was it? That was,
this would have been like 80.
Right. So think about
this. Because I think he stopped around 83, 84.
1980. you can't get away with that shit these days. There's cameras everywhere.
Well, yeah.
Like you could not, without a lot of permission and planning, pull off anything like that. That is
not
a
at all.
once that,
Yeah.
you know, I crashed a wedding. That's kind of once in a lifetime. Digging up a grave is beyond once in a lifetime.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that we used to do that you can't get away with anymore.
I mean, at least you're in Vegas.
For good and bad.
A lot of people go out in the desert with shovels. So the story goes. So you never know who's been dug up and replaced out there.
Oh, yeah.
To go to a real cemetery in this day and age is not something that is going to
Oh,
happen.
yeah. I mean, and that's what we used to do as kids. You know, we'd go to the construction site, and Vegas is built on caliche. It's a bowl basically in the middle of a bunch of mountains. So it's all, you know, you have to dynamite holes to break up the ground out here. So as kids, we would go steal that constantly. I mean, dynamite was fun for a 15, 16-year-old kid in the middle of the desert in Vegas.
Did you do that while you were sneaking out of your mom's house to go play punk rock? Was that when you pulled that shit off?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm really hoping. Look, I'm really hoping that nobody who's an authority is listening and hears these stories. I want to make sure you're not incarcerated by the time I get there.
There's a limited statute of limitations. Yeah, we're good, man. Yeah.
So I know that leading up to Punk Rock Bowling, you've got a lot of great guests every single week. I mean, like Slim Jim's coming back.
He was just there last week. He was just there last week.
You've got some other people doing tours. What's going on this year? Is there anything really special and exciting as far as tours going on, or any special events you guys are going to be doing for the Punk Rock Museum during Punk Rock Bowling?
Oh, during bowling, yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Check the webpage because I don't even know the list. I know Keith Morris is coming back. I know, oh God, yeah, there's a lot. It's a lot. There's a lot of people doing tours and coming through for this.
And you'll be screen printing, right?
I don't think I'm going to be doing any screen printing this year. I'm going to be helping out with other stuff. I mean, that was fun. I still like all the stuff I screen print is in the shop. So like, you know, this will be the new design for this year. I just made it today. Except for it's going to be in green. I get the only white one. So yeah, there's going to be a bunch of new merchandise in the shop too, but yeah, tours, it's insane the lineup that they have this year. I mean, there's it's like 20 different people are doing tours there. And then that's just who's doing tours, plus who's going to be hanging out, who's just going to show up. You know, last week, you know, Amel and the Sniffers played at Coachella, and then like 2 days later, Declan just called me, Instagram me, and he's like, "Hey man, I'm thinking of coming out to Vegas. Can I come check out the museum?" I'm like, "Absolutely, man." So he came out and spent the day with us, and we just announced last night that Fred Armisen is going to be there this weekend, Friday night at 9:00, absolutely free. Fred Armisen in the bar, just playing punk rock songs as a solo. So he's got like backing tracks and shit that he plays along to. It does like Buzzcocks and Sex Pistols and all kinds of really cool stuff, man. So there's that. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot going on. It's hard to keep up sometimes.
If only I could get there this weekend. I'm working with the Toasters this weekend.
Oh, right on.
Pre-punk rock, so they're going to be here in Denton, Texas.
Nice.
But let me tell you something, everybody. The links are going to be down below. I'm going to give you this advice. Take an Uber. Parking is can be a little bit of a challenge over that side of town.
Yeah, we've worked it out with Little Darlings next door. So as Fat Mike likes to say, we're located right next to the strip club. There's a pretty big strip club next to us. So they have given us the whole like left side of their parking lot. So as long as you park on the far side of the building, you're all good. But yeah, it's probably better to Uber there because it's nuts. It's nuts. And there's a wait. There's going to be a wait to get in. I guarantee you. Every year there's been a line to get in, and it could be up to 2 hours. We're going to have fun shit going on in the parking lot for you to do, but there is a wait to get in.
If you want to see those late mid-afternoon punk rock bowling bands, get there early in the morning to go to the museum.
Yes.
I was there right when it opened last year. Definitely plan accordingly. And if you're staying down in the Fremont area, it wasn't too bad of a walk. I mean, a couple of homeless people, but other than that, it was a pretty good walk. So
Exactly.
stretch your legs. Maybe if you go on Sunday or Monday, you work off the liquor from the night before.
Yeah.
Just a couple of,
if you're hurting,
exercise in.
If you're hurting real bad, ask one of the guys by the train track for some fentanyl or something, and they'll hook you up.
And then you'll be there in no time flat. So now I wanna go down another path of this conversation because I know that this just kind of came out in the ether. The English Beat might have, put a little something.
Yeah, I saw that the English Beat put out a flyer saying that there was some show going on.
Show at the Citrus Pool at the Downtown Grand, and you might know this one. You might know or be aware of this one opening band that was listed. I mean, I don't know if that actually
Channel 3. Channel 3, they're great. I love them.
But how them Shakewells? What's the Shakewells? Yeah. Look, I'm not much for praying, but let me tell you, my friend that didn't have a club show. I'm like, oh, I wish they were playing a show. And I hit you up to find out what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
You're playing at the you supposedly playing at the pool.
Yeah, real last minute, man. They just hit us up a couple days ago, and we're like, hey, do you want to do the pool at the Grand with the English Beat and Channel 3? And it's like, no, absolutely not. No, that sounds terrible. But I mean that's the way it should be. That's the kind of stuff that we do. Glenn Matlock comes to town. Yes, we're going to play with them. English Beat. Yes, we're going to play with them. The Ghastly ones we just got to play with last weekend. We played with the Ghastly ones, the Toe Tags, and Gambler's Mark. Yes, that sounds like a great show during Viva Las Vegas. Our friends, the Lords of Altamont, they're doing their last tour right now. So, I've been playing with Jake since he was in the Finks before the Bomboras, and so the Lords of Altamont too. So I've been doing gigs with that guy for 30 something years now. So of course we're going to play with them. So we don't do just any show. We won't just go play a bar just to go play a bar, but when the Sterns call and ask, well, will you play with them? Well, yes.
Hey, look, I've been keeping an eye out because everybody I tell that goes to Vegas, I tell them to do a couple of things. Number one, they got to get some shots of ass juice, and number two, they got to see the Shakewells. I'm so stoked for this, and I've noticed that you guys have been doing some really great opening slots. It's been about a year since the album came out. What's any new music on the way? Any new recordings? What's
lots of it.
there?
Lots of it. Yeah, there's lots of new songs. That's kind of what we've been doing for the past few months. Is just writing a bunch of new stuff. Same guy we recorded with last time, Joe Cenas. We'll be recording with him again, and pressing it ourselves. So I was saying about the record store at the museum, Tom's got a record plant. Well, Tom, I need you to press some records for me. So that's coming next. That's coming next.
Everybody in the Shakewells is alive and kicking. So I can make a suggestion. Maybe this is a beard trimming moment, and everyone can like a little hair in the records, but not necessarily anyone's ashes.
We've actually said that, but I think a hair would probably make it skip. But that might be fun. That might be funny too, just to fuck everybody, The punk record. It sounded good the first time it played, and then now it skips every time it hits the hair.
I'm buying that for sure.
And like like the Feeders did. About the Feeders record, they put sandpaper on the inside of the record, so when you pull it out, it scratched it.
No, I had no idea.
Yeah, the Feeders did that. Yeah.
Did they release that on April 1st? Was that an April 1st?
No, that was April 1st every day for frank discussion.
I can only imagine. I never owned the album, but I can only imagine buying it and you hear screeching. You're like, what the hell did I just do?
Oh no! But yes, that is a true story.
Oh man. Well, I'm super excited that the Shakewells are going well, and I dude, for anybody out there who, because I took up kind of jogging running about a year or so ago. It's a great album to put on, and you get a good like 35-40 minute run with the Shakewells. It's a good workout. It's a
Right
good workout
on.
album. It's on my list.
It's upbeat. It's upbeat. It's peppy. You don't have to run too
It,
fast. It's just a good solid run.
it
And
is.
look
It's a
cool
very good
doing it.
album. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Hey, before we started the recording today, we talked for a couple minutes. Today, we're recording this. I usually don't tell people when we're recording stuff, but today's April 29th, and you know, we can talk at length about the disappointment in some of the bands that are not coming to the States now.
Yeah,
Punk Rock Bowling, and that was announced today too. But there was really sad news announced, and you and I have both had experiences with this person, and it really hit me like a ton of bricks this morning to find out that Mike Peters of The Alarm had finally succumbed to his long-term leukemia and cancer. And if it, although The Alarm doesn't really necessarily fall under punk,
the hell they don't. Yeah, they do.
There is a place for them in the pantheon of musicality and what
protest music. Hell yeah, man.
And right now we live in a day and age where protest music is very much needed.
Yes.
In the world.
And how punk is it to? I don't remember what the name of it was, but they put out a record under another name with a bunch of pictures of like younger people, but it was The Alarm. But since they were older and not, what people wanted, but like the album like charted and did really good, and then people found out that it was The Alarm and got all pissed off about it. But like that's punk as fuck. Yeah, no, fucking Mike was punk as hell, man,
and what he
stood behind, man, what he stood beside, and what he stood for, and what he stood behind the different groups that he got behind he was a wonderful man. Wonderful man. I got to meet him when I went on tour with the Bloodcocks to England. I think we were in Leeds, and one of the guys we were staying with over there was friends with him, and he's like, "Hey, Mike's playing," and I'm like, "Fuck, we gotta go. We have to go," And it was just him doing an acoustic set, and oh God, man, you just see, when you strip it back to those bare bones. You see exactly what the talent is, and that man was the talent, and then getting to meet him afterwards, he was just an absolute sweetheart,
Yeah, no, I mean, I owe him a lot. What he did with Love, Hope, Strength and that foundation and how that came into my life. And because of that, James Chippendale, Alvaro El Gori, and Rob Rushing, who now has taken what was years with the Love, Hope, Strength Foundation here in the States to create Punk Rock Saves Lives, to really take the message of Mike and help save people, whether it's through the bone marrow registry and allowing your bone marrow to save someone and give someone a second chance at life, or what Rob and Tina are doing for the punk community, for the health, the emotional health, and the physical health of the punk community. Yes. Mike Peters touched so many lives, and he gave so many people this inspiration to pay it out to the world, to be selfless with the skills you have and with the talent you have, so that others can benefit from that.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to seeing Rob Rushing in Vegas. He's been on we just did an episode of The Hang with him, and
right on.
And Almost Famous magazine is going to do something amazing that I'm definitely asking the Shakewells to do, which is we're going to be doing a big auction, an autograph, one of a kind, unique autograph auction to help support Punk Rock Saves Lives, and get there and raise a glass with Rob, who I've known a long time, in honor of Mike, who, how many people go out on their own terms? I mean, there's an album that he's just recently done, and today in his passing, Jules and The Alarm released a song that he wrote about his own mortality, and what a way to go out on your own terms.
Yeah.
That is punk as fuck.
Yes.
To say I'm doing it my way.
Exactly. 100%. Nothing but respect, man.
So, but the bright spot of my day, like we started this, is getting a chance to see you, my friend, and to talk about what's been going on at the museum, and to hear your joyful stories. I mean, for all of you who have never been to the Punk Rock Museum, and I'm getting worked up here, everybody, because this is really it's really emotional. It's a pilgrimage. It is one of a kind to go to that museum and experience that. And although it's not the largest building in the world, it'll get there one day.
No, we're working on
it. It is a long tour where you spend generous amounts of time with these artifacts in a time capsule of a musical genre.
Good God, you do a Keith Morris tour and you're going to be there 4 hours. 4 hours. Keith Morris's tours take 4 hours. And it's not just because he talks slow. He knows something about every single band in there. And the museum's not perfect. We're not there completely yet. We're only 2 years in of all of us calling each other and people finding out. The more people find out about it, the more stuff we get. The more people see it and are like, oh, this is legitimate. They're legitimately trying to save these things and give back to people. I don't know how much I can say about it, but we've had some changes around there. There's been some management changes. Mike became a lot more hands-on with the museum recently. And those of us like me, Morat, that have been there since day one, have a lot more say in the running of things because we're there every day. I walk that building every single day. I know that building better than anybody. So there's a lot of stuff we're missing. There's a lot of bands that we need in there. Husker Du, Greg's on his second tour and I don't have any Husker Du shit. Naked Raygun, the English bands. There's so many amazing English bands, and not just England, all over the world. Philippines, Australia. We have nothing from the Saints, but it's not that we don't want it. It's just nothing has come to us yet, so that's the great thing about this place. If and I tell this to people every single day, I'm like, if you know a band you didn't see in here, tell them, because that's how we get stuff. So it's not perfect yet, but we're working on it, damn it.
You're getting there. Look, you should have been in the conversation. I was one night here in Dallas with both the road crews from Hans Zimmer's band and Tom Jones, and I was texting you because they were heading out there. These guys were blown away. Every time I see another roadie, every time I talk to another band, I'm like, have you been to the Punk Rock Museum in Vegas? You have to see this and evangelize it. I mean, we need this to continue to flourish and grow, and there is punk all over the world. So for those of you watching who have never been to the museum but know a band, know someone, you now know somebody. He's on the screen with you right now.
I'm not hard to find,
this dude. No, he's not hard to find at all. Just get in touch with him, because this is a living legacy. This is
how we make it happen. Is all of us together. And something else that's kind of about to happen is we're going nonprofit. So we can start working with National Archives and Smithsonian and, other places like that, and hopefully get some other bigger ticket artifacts in there. I mean, we got to do that. And then plus preserving these things, that a lot of this stuff needs to be preserved. Like one of the things we're going to be working on soon is video and audio, basically tapes. If tapes aren't digitized soon, they are going to disintegrate. You know, I know for a fact my good friend Geely from Subterfuge has a video of Social Distortion playing at Room 13 here in Las Vegas in like 1981. They were horrible. They're all, you know, they played like a 20-minute long version of Pipeline, all of them tuned differently because they already broke the microphones. So it was like, but if that's not saved from that VHS tape soon, that tape's going to disintegrate and that footage is going to be gone forever. So the preservation is what we're going to also be getting into a lot more within the next year or so.
Oh yeah, it's, you know, I have a friend who's got a ton of 3/4 inch and beta tapes from his days at MTV, and finding those machines in working order that can properly time base correct everything so it will rectify on digital is hard to find. So
Yeah.
if any of you are watching our video aficionados and know and have access to machines, they may need some help digitizing this stuff. If you have punk tape, you need to get it. You need to get in touch with this man. These are the things that we have to be doing because punk is going to live on long after so many of us have an opportunity.
Way after.
For sure. So, I mean, it's definitely, this is the type of thing, everybody. I got two stories real quick. First of all, I had this aunt who lived in, she lived in the Catskill Mountains. And whenever I went to visit her, she had a basement. Now, it's been years since I've even been in a basement because I live in Texas. But she used to put out mothballs. And it had this kind of musty basement, kind of.
Oh, yeah.
And it always gave me this feeling when I went in there. It gave me this comfort feeling, right? When I went to the Punk Rock Museum, I walked in, and not that I smelled mothballs, but I got this comfort feeling like this is home. Like you're in the right place. And that's the experience. It is so inviting. You just walk in and it's the kind of place you make your own and it's your home. You know, so that's one of the things about the Punk Rock Museum that really
See, the people that come there are just as much a part of the experience as the people that we bring in and the people that are working there. You know, I mean, every single person's tour. I don't care if it's Keith Morris. I don't care if it's Alice Bagg, if it's Steve Diggle from the Buzzcocks, if it's Glenn Matlock from the Sex Pistols. It's all a back and forth. You know, I saw you guys at blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. Well, when that show happened, this is what happened behind the scenes. You know, well, what happened when you guys did that? Well, that never really happened. This is what happened, you know. So it's the experience is what you bring to it also. You know, it's not just, you know, just walking through and looking at stuff. Talk to other people in there. You know, that's the great thing is that there's people from all over the world that have stories too. And they want to tell those stories just as bad as everybody else in there. You know, since I work in the jam room, which is upstairs kind of at the end of the whole thing, I get so many people that just come into me and just pour it out, man. Like, I saw so and so back in I was 12 years old when, you know, I didn't get into it till Green Day, but once I did, I found this and this and this and this. It's the stories are endless and everybody has them. So it's also what you bring to it is the experience you're going to get out of it too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, everybody, if you're gonna do one thing outside of the festival, this is the one thing you don't miss.
Oh yeah,
you don't miss going to the Punk Rock Museum. Even if you miss out on going to the Double Down and getting a shot of ass juice, make this a bigger priority.
Exactly.
You know, for sure, make this a priority to go out there and see. I mean, and you're gonna find people from all over the world who have made the time to come and check this out. And this is such a community project. This is such a community thing. I mean, that's the other story. I hadn't been to Punk Rock Bowling before last year, and I've been to a number of festivals, and I
And
really
all of them. I've been to every Punk Rock Bowling, literally every single one.
What blew me away, having been to other festivals before, was that the Sterns really achieved a family reunion. They set it out to be that way, And for me to just to check into the downtown Grand and go, wait a minute, I see that Punk Rock Saves Lives van over there. Is Rob here? And the next thing you know, I'm over at Hogs and Heifers hugging somebody I hadn't probably seen in 7 years.
Yeah.
It's to see the relationships that are built, the people even just getting off planes in the terminal who are embracing one another because it's their one chance to spend a weekend together. I'm telling you, this festival is the one you don't miss. It is a family. It is amazing, and I love it. And I'll be going back as long as I possibly can. I may not hit the number that you've hit, but it brought you and me together. So this is a festival for
you know the way it started, right? Like the first ones were just bowling. There was no music at the first couple of ones. It was just at the Gold Coast, and it was just like Fat Records and BYO and Epitaph just came out to Vegas to bowl. Well, I was the guy to call in Vegas if you wanted something to go bowling with. So I was literally
that special glove you wear while bowling.
Yeah. Well, you know, the powder you put on your shoes so you don't slip. But that you know, that's how it was back then, you know, and that's how I literally have been to every single punk rock bowling that's happened so far. So yeah, I don't plan on not going to these things. They are my family reunion. You know, I mean, a lot of them I've just met from when their band came to town or when my band went to their town, you know, and then we get to see each other again at this. So it's a special thing, man.
Yeah.
And great bands, you know, I mean,
killer bands.
The Damned is playing again, for God's sakes. It's the Damned.
The Shakewells are playing, for Christ's sake. It's the Shakewells.
Damned goes a little further than we do.
Today we'll see.
But I thank you, my friend.
Give it a little time. It's a great lineup this year. You know,
yeah,
and it sucks that some of the bands that can't make over there are issues, we all know but we're not gonna get into a political conversation over this right now. But you know what? There are many great bands. They've got some good fillers that they're announcing. The club shows are going to be amazing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and you know, look, a chance to see Bob Mould at Container Park, the chance to see Bridge City Sinners. I saw them with Frank Turner just this past year. I love Frank Turner, and it's going to be great to see him at the festival. But if you've not seen Bridge City Sinners, oh my God, you've got to go check that out. You know, I mean, Clit 45 is playing. I mean, a band with a history.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Public Serpents. I mean, you know, and you get the Toasters. I mean, come on, the variety is amazing. The bands are great. There's something for everyone this year.
Exactly.
And we've got just a few more weeks, buddy. I can't wait to see you. You're gonna get a big hug.
Looking forward to it, my friend.
A bunch of records. Gonna buy a bunch of records because my niece Olivia, her collection is growing every single time I leave my house and go to a record show. So knowing that you guys have a record shop now, I may not be gambling this trip because I know where my money's going.
There you go. It's a better gamble.
Walk away with something for my money. Yeah, it's a better bet getting those records.
And then you can, if you really need to gamble, you can always just throw a number at me. Pick a number.
Oh, pick a number?
Yeah.
11.
That's the wrong one. Give me some money. There you go. There's your gambling, man. There you go.
There you go. Look, I think I met a couple guys doing that on my walk over to the museum. Actually. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. Look, we've been doing these hangs. You know, last year we were lucky. We had Rob, we had Kate Clover. This year we've had so many amazing bands on these hangs. I can't even enunciate today. And we look forward to future opportunities to bring them to you. We're going to have extensive coverage. This is going to be an amazing weekend. If you haven't made your plans, get your ass out to Vegas by hook, by crook, by plane, by car, take a train if you have to.
Start walking now. You got 3 weeks. Start walking now.
Get on a horse. Start walking. Whatever you got to do, be there. for the shows. Be there at the Downtown Grand for all the action at the pool. You're going to get to see the Shakewells and so many more bands. Brother, I love you. Thanks so much for making time with us. You
Absolute pleasure,
made
my
this a great
friend.
hang.
Well, thank you, my friend.
Awesome.
Always great treat and a pleasure.
I will see you soon for sure. And everybody will see you at Punk Rock Bowling and Beyond.